Please subscribe to this channel. 50% of y'all are not subscribed. That's a crime. Please do that now. Now, to the video. I'm in Salad and I saw Men. It is directed by Alex Garland. And I didn't know this movie existed, but I did see the trailer. The trailer was real spooky, and I was like, oh man, I really want to go see that. So I did go and see that. And if you haven't seen this movie, I'm going to be providing a lot of spoilers, so you have been properly warned. Alright, the movie starts. We get to meet this chick. She's in a red room, and we also see her meeting eye contact with a guy who is falling off a building. Pretty much hits the ground running. Well, not literally. I mean, I know the guy is about to hit the ground, but it's a metaphor. So, hit the ground running with the grievery that she has to deal with, which is quite unfortunate. Let me get into her character a little bit. So, she's big victim. There's a scene where we get to see her conversation between her and the husband. I'm kind of skipping ahead a little bit here, but this is very good context. She's like, I want to divorce you because you've been different for a year. And the guy is like, but I'll change. It's been a year. And she's like, nope, I don't want to be with you at all. No, I'm going to divorce you. And of course, the guy's like, this is a warning. I'm not here to guilt trip you or anything. I'm just here to properly give you a warning that if you do leave me, I am going to commit suicide. And this isn't a guilt trip because it's a warning. It's just like, what if you were in the room with somebody who wanted to shoot themselves and you gave him a gun and walked away? This is basically what she does. And she's like, alright, well, do it, essentially. And also they're arguing and he gets mad and punches her. And this is the first time that he has hit her. And I'm just thinking, okay, I mean, this is a very strong reaction on her end to just push him out of the apartment and lock him out and just say, I'm never going to be with you again. Because, of course, if that's the last words that you're thinking of, it doesn't matter if you got hit by that person. The last thing you're going to remember is their dead corpse and how you drove them to suicide, even though you want to cope and say that you actually didn't. You're the true victim. She acts like a victim, but it's really the husband that should be taken a look at and, loved. But this is a little bit of the introduction of her, the backstory in which she approaches this movie. So she's sad. She's like, I'm gonna go to a place where it's beautiful. I rented this cool Airbnb from this weird guy, and you don't need to lock your keys. I mean, you don't need to lock your house with the keys in this village. And I'm just like, I know this is your house, but do you want to rob me? I immediately don't really trust him. But also, she doesn't either. Also, unfortunately though, she is rude. She's just rude to every guy that she speaks to. Because, to some degree, it's just like a reminder of her pain, because she wanted to be a strong, independent woman, and look what that got her, a suicide. You got a suicide on her hands. That's not good. And of course, you got a good friend, pal, mate, buddy pal. Her name is Riley. She's talking to her on the phone, but that's a little bit later. But first, she's walking down this path and the greenery is really green, and it's beautiful. The colors pop in the scene, and she's just walking through forest. It's really nice, honestly. And she's going through this path. I like how the film takes the time to establish her going down this path and then going left down this path, going towards a tunnel. The tunnel, she does a bunch of echoing stuff because she notices that echo is like, oh, and then it goes, oh, oh, oh. And so she's like, awooga, awooga. And then on top of that awooga, she's like, awooga. So if the first two basically overlap, and then 2 and 3 overlap in the sequence of echoes. And I'm just very focused on this scene because I found the scene to be very beautiful. And it's definitely worth a watch. So the sequence would be awooga, 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 something like that. If that paints a picture, it's as clear as day. It should. It's perfect. But she wakes up a guy who just starts screaming and is running towards her. And I'm like, oh wow, this is a really long tunnel. She should be running, but she's not. She's kind of doing the fake running, walking thing if you're not really actually threatened, but you're kind of threatened. And she kind of runs past the spot where she was going to climb down, and she hits a dead wall. Oh no, not the dead wall. And then, boo, screams. So she crawls up the side of the grass. Yeah, there was a bunch of grass and trees there, and I'm just thinking, oh no, please do not slip because it just rained. And then she goes to this place. It's like an abandoned house, and she crawls over this barbed wire fence, takes a photo, and notices in that photo the Wiener Man. The homeless man that's chasing her is the Wiener Man. And I'm going to call him the Wiener Man from now on. So she's tormented by him, goes home, talking to Riley. Riley's like, yeah, you strong, independent woman. You go, girl. Show me the place. So, showing her the place, taking some business meetings, and you got Wiener Man just kind of wandering about in this whimsical garden. And it only takes until she's showing Riley the outside, and then she sees Wiener Man. She's like, I gotta go. And this is atrocious, what she does. She's Wiener Man. Take fruit from the orchard. By the way, I forgot to mention this. At the beginning, when she first came to the Airbnb, she takes a fruit off of the tree without asking, before meeting the guy. Just takes it, eats it. The guy's like, oh, it's forbidden fruit, you shouldn't eat it. And I'm just like, you should have asked before you just took someone's fruit. That's stealing. Even if they're gonna say yes later, you still should have asked first. That's so rude of you. What is wrong with you? I don't really like her, but luckily, it turns out Wiener Man won't really like her that much either, because she sees Wiener Man in the garden. She immediately calls the police, which is not a good go-to. You should not just go talk to the police. You should probably, I don't know, talk to the guy. I mean, I guess you're an independent woman. The independent is very strong. You really like to jump between you being an independent, strong woman and being a weak victim woman. So she calls the police, and the police arrest the guy. That's always fun. Then she's told later on that because the guy was just kind of about, not really doing much, he got let go. So now the guy's walking about. And because she's so mad at the person telling her this information, that she walks alone at night, where the guy's wandering about. And I'm like, dude, you're so dumb. And she just likes to trust random guys and not trust other guys, even though they look similar, they have similar faces on them. I talk about similar faces because we meet a little boy with the same face as the Airbnb host and a couple of other village mates, and it's weird. I'm like, what is going on? Why is that kid being so rude? And why is that adult acting like a kid and then runs off and then, oh, there's a guy? And she's crying in the church. She does not have any of her emotions together intact. She thinks, oh, I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need no man. Especially since the one that I led to suicide is dead. And she's like crying about it. There's a guy that overhears her. That guy follows her and wants to talk to her. She unloads some details, but the way that she tells the story is like, she starts from the point from when they have the argument until he hits her, and then in order to get back into the house, he crawls onto the neighbor's balcony above, tries to crawl down, and slips and dies. And the way that she tells it, I'm just like, you, in this story, the one that you're telling this guy, so you're also a victim, you didn't even let the guy apologize to you. And so rightfully so, this guy thinks that you caused this guy's suicide. And she's just stressed and traumatized, just thinking, was it my fault? And I don't really think she's thinking about like, oh no, my husband's dead. She's like more thinking, oh, is this my fault? Like just to have no humanity. She has no love. And it's really funny. The guy's just asking her a bunch of questions. And the question, like, is, the guy is asking her a bunch of questions. And the one question in particular that she doesn't really like is him asking, well, are you thinking about whether you caused your husband's suicide or not? And she's like, no, I hate you. Bye. Ugh. I don't need no man. Speaking of men, hey, that's the name of the movie. She goes home. She's back at the place. And, oh, there's a sheriff guy on her lawn? Why is there a sheriff guy on her lawn? And then the lights go off, and then the sheriff guy is gone. And then, oh, there's another guy. And I'm just like, okay, that must be like the same guy, because there was just like no random guy that showed up out of nowhere. He must have like morphed or something. And he does. And it's also weird seeing him in the form of the guy at the church admit to her that he has sexual feelings towards her and tries to make an advance on her, and she rightfully stabs him. I kind of missed a key scene. He's trying to like get into the house after like chasing her inside. Puts his hand through the mailbox door. Hand up, by the way. Just, it's a universal sign of peace. So she puts her hand in his hand, which is dumb. Of course, he pulls her hand closer towards the door. And what she does is stabs the knife through his arm, through like the middle of his wrist. And I'm like, that's not cool. That was totally uncalled for. Well, okay, you have the knife. You can do things to hurt the other person other than sticking the knife through arteries and veins, with blood coursing through their veins and arteries and all that stuff. You could have like sliced the top or the thumb, or sliced them like with a little light slice and dice. Like, you don't have to like, and of course, this is a really gruesome scene. So, instead of her taking the knife back out, he instead lets go of her, and then slowly having the knife go through the hand, just ripping it. And it's so gross to watch, but I couldn't really look at the screen, but I was like looking at it. I was like, ooh, it's so gross. And the knife drops, and now his hand is cut in half, and now we see all the other forms of the people around. Just the different forms, and they're all one consistency, the knife cut in half. And so gross. But anyway, back to that guy who was going to have sex with her, and then she stabbed him. I'm like, dude, she still has a knife. Do you not see the knife? Of course you're gonna get stabbed, and then you're gonna whimper away, and then give birth to different forms of yourself. This one was weird. The birthing scenes were abnormal. You got a like shoulder birth canal, and they all got like these weird bulges, and I'm like, oh no, this is M-Preg. Oh, they got M-Preg in this movie. Oh boy. It's so graphic. It's looking at the birth canals like as the head births out, and there's like one final one that's fun, is the feet sticking through the mouth, the feet going through the mouth, and a guy is just choking, and I'm like, oh man, is he going to survive? And he does. And guess who the guy is? It's the husband. Turns out all of these guys were the husband the entire time, and she's like, what do you want from me? And he only requests one simple thing: her love. So that goes to show you, love is the most important thing ever. If she loved him at all and wasn't so self-interested and so being into a victim and having such a victim way of looking at things, then her husband would still be alive. And I'm not particularly sure if the husband is alive, but her friend is coming. Riley's here. There's a specific phone call where it kind of has like a timeline added to it. Oh, Riley's gonna come over in 3 hours. All right, now Riley's here, and there's blood on the floor, and we see her just like with the mint leaf, just laughing about like nothing's happening. And I'm like, dude, there's literally blood on the floor. What are you gonna explain to someone? What happened to what happened to the massive piles of skin that were left behind when the several birthing processes just happened? And she's just, first, I like her reaction to this. She's like, what? And then by like the third birth, she's just like, okay, what is this? What is going on? I'm also like, this is so strange. But that's the end of the movie. The end of the movie is ultimately you really gotta love the ones that you got, and please do not drive your loved ones to suicide by acting like a victim all the time. Okay, I can tell you exactly where she went wrong. Didn't love her husband enough. Didn't love her husband enough to the point where he felt like he needed to commit suicide in order to stay in her brain, so it haunts her, so she has a lesson on how to treat people in the future. It's quite unfortunate that we got people around her being so nice to her, and she's just rude to everyone. I don't like that. But the colors were really vibrant, really poppin', super beautiful, by the way. There's just so many beautiful night shots, like the sunset, sunrise. I do recommend watching this movie, especially for the visuals. It's hard to talk about visual things with words without doing it justice. And so I gotta give this movie a solid 7.7 out of 10. If you like this content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And share this video with everyone you know. If I haven't reviewed it on the channel, there's a chance I haven't even seen it. So, request a movie in the comments below, or fast track that request at patreon.com/ASEpresents for $20 a month for one movie review request per 1 month. $3 a month, you get some daily vlogs. Definitely check those out. So go to patreon.com/ASEpresents. And if you want to help support this channel and also my NSFW content, go to this link tree right here. It really helps these movie reviews going, because the ultimate goal of this channel is to become an ultimate film watcher expert, film expert watcher. And I'm going to review all of the movies, so please help support that goal at this link tree right here. Until next time, I'm Mint Salad Saw. I'll see you later, my salad croutons and bacon bits.